Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's Up Caribbean. I'm your host, Elizabeth Guerin, and it's always a pleasure for me to be here with you. Our guest tonight is a very nice and positive lady, very active in the community, and she won an award for her work. Her name is Evelyn, and you will meet with her in a moment. And then we will bring you to Opaloka, where our reporter Cliff interviewed great Haitian artists. They had a very powerful exhibit in Opaloka, and you will know more about it during this show. You will just have a little tease about it, and the rest will come after. And one of the artists, I can tell you that right now, is the co-producer of this show. Voila! So we're gonna have a great moment together. I'll be right back. Evelyn Pérez Verdía is a leading strategist in creative production, messaging, and cultural communications, focusing on engaging diverse communities. She is the president and founder of We Are Mass, a South Florida-based PR and social impact agency that specializes in culturally competent multilingual engagement. In 2025, We Are Mass was awarded a top honor at the 10th Annual Shorty Impact Awards in Los Angeles for its 2024 multilingual campaign for the Broward County Supervisor of Elections Office, distinguishing Broward votes as the only election office in America to receive this prestigious international honor. Election Superheroes, the Super Voters was a multilingual voter education campaign created to engage, educate, and empower Broward County's diverse population of over 1.3 million voters. Also this year, Evelyn received the statewide Leadership Golden Age Award at the 38th Annual Golden Age Awards presented by the Latino Center of Aging, and most recently, the Pura Vida Cultural Contribution Award at the National Costa Rican Chamber of Commerce celebration. Tonight, we have the privilege of welcoming Evelyn as our guest on What's Up Caribbean. Evelyn, bonsoir. Welcome to What's Up Caribbean.
Merci, Elizabeth. I am so happy to be here, and it's an honor to be here in this table with you.
I appreciate that. And you know, I'm a big fan of yours.
Likewise.
Your energy. And you won an award. That's fantastic.
Yes.
So congratulations about that.
Thank you.
So before we talk about this award, we're going to talk about you.
Okay.
And I know you've been doing wonderful things since when? When did you come to America?
It's a long story, but in short, I am the daughter of missionary family.
Okay.
My father is from third generation German American. His grandfather came through Ellis Island.
Wow.
On my father's side, I am part of the 100 million descendants of the people who came through Ellis Island and through New York. And through my mother was Colombian, from South America. So they met in Tampa, Florida, and they ended up going to Colombia to help deaf, hard of hearing communities. And that was always our life. So when you ask me when I started, I don't remember. Because
I mean, you were born in it.
We were born in it, and I think that's very similar to your family.
Exactly.
And the work that your family has done in Haiti, and just how you continue the work. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to know that it continues.
Exactly. We're trying our best.
You know, I have We Are Mass. It's a social impact agency.
Social impact agency. So it's not like a media. It's a media agency too, no?
It's media, it's public relations, it's making sure that our communities see the information, because there are so many information needs in our diaspora communities, as you very well know. And our job is not only to find how we fill these information needs, but also how do we unite our communities to make sure that we have a stronger voice when we are here together. So that's what's part of We Are Mass, because We Are Mass means we are more together. And the whole idea is that, you know, it's us working together. We all have expertise. You have strengths. that I may have weaknesses in, I have strengths that you may have weaknesses in, and so just building things, but always having in mind what my parents taught me, always doing it for the right reasons.
Absolutely. And there is a sentence that I saw in an article was written about you. It describes you so well. So she said, the most important thing for me is to take the people you know and share them with others. That's a sentence that perfectly describes Evelyn. That's you. You like to share with people, you like to communicate, you're always helping people. And I like the fact that you are straight to the point.
Yes.
That's a choice, right?
Well, I think that when you've been doing this for so long in our communities, you see so many times that people say, oh, we want to help, but when it comes to the reality, the help doesn't come. Mm-hmm. And so it gets to the point, it's diplomacy, but also it's always, when you speak, it's something that I've learned actually in the past year. When you speak, you have to speak and say things because it's the right thing to do, because it's the right thing for your community. And you shouldn't stand away from that because it's not for you, right? And if it's not for you, then it's okay to say it because it's the needs that we're seeing out there. So that's like one of the biggest pieces right now in terms of, I started, doing this work with communities at the age of 22. I'm 46 right now.
Wow.
I'm 46.
You hold them really well,
these 46 years. Life that it never, and there's always been times where it's never been like, okay, where's this going to go? What am I going to get out of it? The moment we do that, where we say, what am I going to get out of it? Usually it doesn't happen because it doesn't come from the heart of the communities. Mm-hmm. And when you start saying, how can this help them? I really believe that the doors start opening and you start finding people to connect with. Mm-hmm. And you start finding people that you connect with others. But it's always about finding good people because we have people who are not good.
Yeah.
And we have people who are good. And the more people unite, the better things will be for all of us.
So I think what's very interesting about you as well is the fact that you are such a good person, but at the same time you are strong. But how do you manage, because there are so many unprofessional and selfish people who do not share your views about life, about how to work. Are you disappointed all the time, or you learn to not to be? And if you learn so, I need a tip. Yeah, because I really don't know how.
That's such a good question. Look, I think that we learn, it's like that proverb, that Asian proverb that says, fall 7 times, stand up 8, mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And we have people that we help, and sometimes they're not grateful. We have people that we help and they say, my biggest thing is my mentors. I always talk about my mentors.
Who's your mentor?
I've had mentors like
I guess your family, they were the first.
My mother, my family, but also a mentor, Joan Newcomb, who was from my first university, who was a woman from New York, who taught me how to cook, who taught me, that things were very simple. I didn't have to see it so difficult. But just having the support of so many people, just in life, we have all these mentors that come. People who sometimes also don't go our way can be a teacher, right?
Yeah. There's always something to learn.
There's always
from
something
anybody.
To learn. But one of the things that I've learned through this path is that sometimes people who see goodness in people sometimes take advantage. Mm-hmm. So when you come to the point, it's also observing. But then I always say now, do not confuse my kindness for weakness. And I think that that's the important point.
Yes.
To make it clear. There are people who continue to be the same, and there are people who care. And the whole objective of what we do is working with people who get it. We don't work with anyone that doesn't get it, that doesn't get to that point where they say, we need this. And if they don't accept it or we stop working with them because it's not valid. So does it disappoint me? Yes, it disappoints me. But then you see people who actually put in the time, who actually listen, who understand that they don't understand our cultural sensitivities. So that's a very big piece, but also it's just saying to them, look, this is important, we need to do this, and if they don't want to do it, then that's their problem. We do it anyway.
Don't you have the feeling that some people who are really bad and not doing a great job, and they got it easy and nothing happens to them, and good people are dying or struggling? Don't you have that feeling sometimes?
Always. It's very common. It's very common, but that's why we have to unite when we find good people who care.
Yeah,
and that's
you
just
stick
that.
to them.
You stick to them because you can have 100 people but when it takes time. It takes time to meet people. It takes time to listen, to see what their real intentions are, and then that's why it's like for We Are Más. It's not just about We Are Más. It's about consultants that have never been seen or have always been forgotten, that are experts on so many things. And they have never been taken into account when they should be, because they are there, like they're with We Are Más. We're together and we collaborate with other consultants that have their own businesses. Why? Because it's about merit. It's not about who you know. It's not about any of that. It's about what do you bring to the table, and where is your heart to help your communities.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So We Are Más, I have to tell you, she's the queen of the Hispanic media. She controls the market. So if you need the Hispanic media, she's the one. Not only the Hispanic media, you do many other markets as well with your company,
English and Spanish, and
yes.
we get support from great people to support when we need
exactly
from the Haitian community.
I know. So Evelyn, let's go back to your history. So you were in Tampa for a long time. Why did you move to Miami, to Broward, let's say, Dade and Broward?
So I've had very different places in my professional life. I used to be a congressional assistant. I worked for a congressman for 3 years.
You had a good training there too,
That was a great training. We did a lot of work in the communities. Very prestigious, but they didn't pay a lot, as you all know. But we did things like, where I would go on my free time and I would go and talk to the communities, because I saw how many people didn't know that our taxpayer dollars, paid for these congressional assistants like me to help them with their cases, their federal cases like immigration, Social Security, veteran issues, and they could write a letter saying, I give you permission to look into my immigration case. So this became very powerful for me, because I had a situation with my mother. We were all U.S. citizens, and she would go every day to the mailbox to look for like a interview. Never got the interview. She went to the immigration. They said, oh, go back, because she's like, I have medical issues. We were under the poverty level, and we couldn't afford to have doctors. So my mom went to immigration, says, I need to go to Colombia to see doctors because we don't have the money here. And they said, oh, go. 2 weeks later, I received a letter stating that my mother was here undocumented for 3 months. And so that became like a search.
Triggers something.
A search for me that I didn't want anyone. Me as a U.S. citizen, my brother and sister as a U.S. citizen.
So you were born here in this?
I was born in Colombia, but my father as an American, we were immediate U.S. citizens through the embassy and everything. And I thought to myself, if this is my case, how many cases are out there of people who are going through pain, or people who are separated, good people? And that became kind of my fire, my fire to say, how can I help this? How can I help this person? So that's, and I recently this year, at the beginning of the year, I did a visionary board. They say like a visionary board. And one of the things I added to that visionary board that I love is, remember why you started, what you are doing.
So how do you feel about the current situation? And we're not going to talk about politics, but I still want to know, how do you feel about the immigration situation right now in the States?
I think we are seeing part of what we do also is we are always researching misleading information that is affecting our communities.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of narratives, not only from domestic actors, but foreign actors, that are making us, in terms of our diaspora communities, the Haitian American communities, the Hispanic and Latino communities, they're forgetting so many of us that are such hard workers in this nation of immigrants, so many that are in Forbes 500, so many people to elevate doctors, attorneys, and it's so important. That's why this job that we do is so important, because we have to elevate those voices of who we really are in this country and not let the opposite narrative decide and change that public opinion. We have to change the public opinion to show that the majority of us are here to help this nation. We are placing a lot of money in this nation. We buy a lot of things. We are businessmen and businesswomen. And I think that that's where we need to focus on now, changing that narrative of something that is truly not where it should be.
Evelyn, I hope that your positivity is contagious.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fantastic lady with us today. Her name is Evelyn Pérez Verdía. I hope I pronounced it well.
Perfect.
You do so many things, so many positive things. If I ask you to introduce yourself, if I tell you, she's Evelyn, and what do? What would you say?
The latest word that has come out is I'm a cultural weaver. I weave in culture within.
A cultural weaver. Oh my God, I love it. And it goes well with your logo. I love your logo, by the way. We are Master. You can see it now. It's so pretty. So,
I'm a
oh my God.
weaver. So what we do is we ensure that organizations, companies, nonprofits are being culturally sensitive to our communities. You know, everybody always talks, we're not a monolith, we're not, well, it's more than that. We have subcultures within our cultures.
Yeah, true.
In all of our communities. And it's very important that when we speak to them, it unites versus divides. So you have to understand symbols, what symbols mean, what words mean. How does it affect someone that comes from another country versus someone that was born here in the United States? And making sure that when we have those messages that they really resonate and that people feel the message versus reject it, you know, which often happens. People spend millions of dollars on advertisements, on different things, and they're not thinking about these cultural differences.
So let's say that a client would ask you to do a campaign in the Hispanic market. I love when they say that, because as you said, they always think that Hispanics or all blacks are the same, like Haitians, Jamaican, they all have their culture, and you have to address them differently. And I guess it's the same for the Hispanic market, which is a wide market here. So how do you address these issues?
The great example for the elections office with Broward, we did ads where in Broward we included 4 different voices, and also I made sure that the people who were the voices were actual Broward voters. They were U.S. citizens that voted in Broward County. One voice was of a community leader that was Venezuelan, Cuban, Colombian, Peruvian, and we made that ad. Another thing that we do, for example, is a very important example, is that we've done national work too. So we worked with one organization where we which was focused on gun violence, and focused on the fact that gun violence is the #1 cause of death in children in the United States.
In children?
In children in the United States. And so it's crazy. Not about, you know, people have their rights of their Second Amendment and all of that. It's not about that. It's how can we protect our children more? And one of the things that we did was an ad, like when we do releases, when we worked with this organization, national organization, a shooting happened. We would immediately activate ourselves, even if it was on the weekend, that immediately while they were writing the release, we would be writing it in Spanish, translating immediately on the weekend, because it's important to be immediate, to have rapid response. So Texas, for example, when the Uvalde massacre happened, the way I write that release is not going to be in the Spanish I write in South Florida. It's going to be with a Mexican-American dialect.
Okay.
Because most of the people in that demographic of that area were Mexican-American. So we have translators that have the Mexican-American dialect to reach closer to the communities, to the heart. Here, the same. What words are we going to use? Which ones are similar? Which one may be a bad word in one country and not the other, you know? And you have to be conscientious of that, because it's very easy for one community to feel insulted. So you have to be very careful.
It's really fascinating, all that. So we'll be right back, another break. Ladies and gentlemen, here are some photographs that Evelyn shared with us. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue with our very interesting and positive guest.
I started with my consulting firm in 2007, and that was when the congressman that I worked for decided to run for governor. And I took some time to help him with his race. And it was the first time, he was a Democrat, it was the first time that a Democrat had won the Hispanic vote since 1996. That was 2006.
That was a big thing.
And it was a big thing because what we did a lot of strategies where, for example, in that time, do you remember, Elizabeth, where you had like the calling cards to call your country?
Yeah.
We didn't have WhatsApp. We did
no
not have
WhatsApp at the time.
So we had to call. And so what we did is we went to the radio stations, and there was one big radio station that was Colombian that went all over the world. So I told them, I said, look, this is the idea. You go and you're going to speak in this station, but you're going to go all over the world. You're going to go to Colombia and everything. And what's going to happen is the next week when their children call from Florida,
they're going
to tell them that they heard Jim Davis speaking.
Vote for him.
And he listened to me. He decided to think I was important enough to speak to me in my country. And that's how little things like that it's not rocket science, as you very well know. So that's how we started. So when he lost, he was just like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, this old movie, because he was so like, you know, just didn't want to do anything wrong. He was very like straight and principled.
And cautious.
He still continues to be. And so he lost, and then the new people in the congressman office, you know, they always have their people. And I said, well, I guess I just have to start my own consulting firm. And since then, I've been working with elections offices on ads.
I know you have big, important clients. Congrats for that.
Thank you. And you know, and I just really feel right now we have to do a lot of work for free and fair elections and to inform our communities, because there are so many information needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we really have to work really hard to just give them the needs, that information needs they have. There are paywalls. There are all these situations where they can't reach information.
But so many people do not watch the news and are not informed. This is crazy. For example, that tag law that is enforced right now in Florida, that no frames for the tags. And I was watching, like while driving to come here, how many people are still they still have their frames. And when you talk to them, they don't know. They don't know so many things that are happening in this country. And you're asking yourself, what do they watch? How to reach out to them? Because some information are out there everywhere and they still don't know about it.
That was a study we did actually with Brown University in 2023 to 2024, which was a pilot project in South Florida where we had 25 information navigators from different countries, all U.S. citizens from different political ideologies. And what we found out from that is that they didn't know how the U.S. system worked sometimes. They wanted information. They also received a lot of information from, the grandmother, the tia, the auntie, and WhatsApp that might not be true. And we started training them. Okay, this is how you can see if something is true or not. Like if you see something on WhatsApp and it gives you extreme anger or extreme happiness, pause, look at the title, put it in Google, and see how many people in the news have the same story. Like the shark, remember the picture of the shark on supposedly on I-95 with the flooding, that there was a shark? That shark has been in the news for 10 years. So you just have to screenshot the image, put it in Google, and you will see that its story is not true.
That's right.
So it's little things that we can do to help each other say, okay, because right now that's a big thing. People don't know what to believe anymore.
Yeah. So what else you're very proud of in your line of work?
One of the things that I really have learned, we talked about, just when you are young and you think you're going to be the governor of Florida, but then you get older and, at the age of 46, one of the things that's big in my heart is to also form the next generations. And one of the things that I'm seeing right now that I'm concerned about are the content creators. We have a lot of content creators that are saying whatever, but they're not verifying the facts, principled. And so I was able in the last 3 years to work with the Department of State, U.S. Department of State, and with the U.S. embassies in Latin America, and where we went and we focused on influencers. I went to Bolivia. I almost from the altitude, I was like fainting, but I went there because I had gone a year before, and I had seen a young man who was part of like this Master Chef, and I asked him, I said, you do these videos in Master Chef and your YouTube channel, but do you get anyone who asks you to do like things that are like not so good? He goes, oh yes, I was offered $5,000 to comment on the elections in Argentina.
Oh my God.
And so I said, and he goes, but I didn't do it because of my principles. I don't do anything that's not food and what I believed in. And that stood with me because I would hear teachers saying that there were kids like there's all over the world that are saying, I'm getting $5,000, and they would tell the teacher, I'm making more money than you now.
Yeah.
But the work is not being ethical because they're being used to change public opinion for people that are threat actors that really don't care about our communities. So for me to do that work, when they called me a year after, I sat down with the embassy, I said, we need to do something here. A year after they called me, and I think my greatest pride was to be in a room where I had 27 content creators from all over Bolivia that were 21 million followers altogether. And we talked about ethical content. We talked about what will you do if someone tells you to do something that's not good? What meme would you do? So we did a meme-a-thon, and they each created a meme. And that, for me, there's some friends that are doing work that's like this. That's a piece that I think is really important to continue to educate our youth to be ethical content creators and give accurate information.
So talking about media and your PR firm, I really like your cartoons. It's like you specialize in doing cartoons information, and people really love them. It's really in these days.
Yes. We started, I think it's always about thinking outside the box. We're very proud because we got a Shorty Impact Award for that, which is also an audience honor, which means that the people voted for this, which was with the Broward County Supervisor of Elections, and also takes the Broward County Supervisor of Elections to say, let's do this, because a lot of people say, oh, cartoons, animations, no, but to have that willingness to do that, to say, let's do it in 3 languages, let's do it in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole, and to go and get an award that people like Lady Gaga, Malala, and people MTV have received the award.
Wow.
They were the only elections office in the world that registered for this award, like in the Shorty Impacts, and they won it, and we won it.
That's fantastic.
So that just shows that we need to think out of the box, and that we have to show the importance of voting, the importance of going out to vote, and the importance to educate in a way that people will say, oh, this is funny, this is cute, and makes them want to watch a little more so we can inform and educate.
So were you surprised when you received that award?
The truth is going to come out today.
Tell me the truth. I love that.
So we went to Los Angeles. We were at the ceremony.
Okay.
And when we got the award, like it talked about audience honor, it went on the screen so quickly
that you did not realize? That's extremely funny.
We didn't know we had won.
So they need to slow down. They need to slow down when they give their award.
So, because it was, we had, like, there was just so many, like, just wonderful people doing so many, because all of it was social impact.
Okay.
And multilingual. We were competing against Propel, like the water.
Wow.
We were competing against these big multinational companies. So we like.
And you won. That's so amazing.
So that's like, it just makes me feel so optimistic that we can do so much more like this. And I'm just really looking forward to see what 2026 brings, and just making sure that we can continue to do things that can help all of our communities and inform them. So let's see what 2026 brings.
When did you realize that you won?
Like the next day.
The next day. That you had win. Oh my God.
But that was, I think also, if you think about it, when you come from a family that didn't have many resources growing up, that we were missionaries.
You work harder.
You never think that you're going to get there.
Yeah.
And you probably think, oh, that couldn't be me. And what's so beautiful is that we do live in a place that is the American dream, and that we do all have the capacity to get there if we put our heart into it.
What would be your last word, even though that was a fantastic last sentence, but your wishes for 2026, what do you tell our viewers?
This is a moment where we have to be united. There's a lot of division right now, and we have to be united. We have to support each other to get where we need to be for our communities and to elevate our communities. So that's the message. How can we work together to ensure when there's division, the bad people win. When we unite, the good people win.
Evelyn, I really admire you. Thank you for coming to What's Up Caribbean. I hope it won't be the last time. Congrats. And I'm sure that you will have other awards, and we'll hear more often about you. I'm sure of that. So I wish you a good health, because you have the rest.
Thank you.
So health is the most important thing, so you continue doing positive things for our community.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Voilà.
The same to you.
Thank you so much. Mesdames et messieurs, nous vous revenons dans quelques minutes.